How's it going, everybody? The PlayStation Store's Tokyo Game Show sale, as well as Big Games, Big Deals, I think it's called, whatever these names on these sales are. They're both ending tomorrow. I think tomorrow's the final full day. Should be some new sales cycling in. You guys know the deal. Gonna be highlighting some games under $10. We already did one looking at 10. We got 15 games here. So let's just get right into it, and let's start things off with a throwback. And you know what? By the time February 29th of 2024 rolls around, I'm gonna make you guys hate how much I talk about Final Fantasy VII, so let's just continue that. Final Fantasy VII, the original, is 50% off for $7.99. Now, who is on board with me doing a replay of Final Fantasy VII? I'm doing it right now, and man, it is just so great to go back and play this game. Look, it is a PlayStation 1 title, so keep your expectations in line. You got some trophy support there, but it's on Plus Extra. I think if you only played the remake, yes, it's hard to go back to a game that came out back in 1997. Visually, it shows its age for sure. At the time, it was groundbreaking, but in the year 2023, all right, man, maybe not the greatest thing in the world. However, the game is still exceptional in terms of storytelling, and it's really interesting to see. I didn't know how short the Midgar section was. The last time I played through Final Fantasy VII was back in 2013, so it's been a decade. Your boy's grown up a little bit, and it's kind of wild to see, you know, how they took that section of the game and blew it up into what the remake was, and it's not even a bad thing. Like, they did a great job with the remake, but if that's what we're gonna expect out of Rebirth, I am very excited for that. $7.99, I think it's a solid pickup. Go check it out. If you never played the original, I still feel like it's a worthwhile game to go through. I know most people, what they're doing is they're playing through the remake again, and they're playing through Crisis Core, if that. That's probably the sensible, the logical thing to do, but you know me, I gotta be pathetic, and I gotta play the original as well. We're gonna do the original, then we're gonna do remake, then we're gonna do Crisis Core. I think that's the sequence I'm gonna go by February of next year. Will I hit all of it? We'll see, but nonetheless, that's my 2 cents on that. Definitely check it out if you can stomach going through a PS1 JRPG. Next up, we have DMC Devil May Cry Definitive Edition, 75% off for $9.99. This was an action title done by Ninja Theory, the guys that at this point are best known for their work on the Hellblade titles. DMC got a pretty mixed reception because of the Dante redesign. I feel like that was the main reason why a lot of people didn't like the game. Look, I get it. Devil May Cry is very nostalgic, but at the same time, like, yo, DMC's continuing on. And with DMC Devil May Cry, you literally have to go into this game expecting a game that's, like, totally different than what DMC is. Like, just expect a quality action game, and if you go into it expecting that, you're gonna have a good time with it. I think $10 is a good price. And by the way, I think with the Definitive Edition, you get a piece of DLC that, like, changes Dante's look, so, like, they knew. But yeah, $9.99 on that pretty good buy, shorter game, of course. Next up, DJMAX Respect. Now, this is a game I don't know how I haven't given more of a mention to on this channel, potentially because I don't see it go on sale all too often, or if it is on sale, it's kind of buried in there, but back in early 2020, this was my game. When the world shut down, DJMAX Respect, I sunk so many hours into this game just because, you know what, it was just some chill, good quality fun that I didn't have to take too seriously. The world was in disarray, and I needed something where I could just lose a couple hours to and enjoy the music, and the soundtrack selection in DJMAX is very, very good. However, you guys know the deal with music rhythm games. These games have a lot of DLC content. I think there was almost a point where, like, I was playing the game so much that I was about to drop, I think it was like $150 or $200 just to get all the DLC, and then, you know, cooler heads prevailed, and I ultimately didn't end up doing that. I think the soundtrack selection you get just by buying the game is fairly good, but just keep that in mind, you know. If you go down that rabbit hole, you might be, you know, you might be in a little bit disarray as far as your wallet's concerned, but had a great time with it, and again, I thought the soundtrack selection was quite good. Next up, we have Assassin's Creed Syndicate, 70% off for $8.99. Now, AC Syndicate is available through the PlayStation Plus Extra subscription. However, Ubisoft titles have been getting cycled out of Plus Extra, so if you have any interest in playing games like AC Syndicate, Ezio Trilogy, etc., probably a good idea to get them in your library. Obviously, Syndicate had some turmoil on PS5 where the game was literally just broken. It has since been fixed. And it's a quality game. I talk about it often, but I think this game is criminally underrated in the Assassin's Creed franchise. What I personally think happened is people were left with such a sour taste in their mouth after Assassin's Creed Unity. Syndicate kind of felt the brunt of that and people losing faith in the franchise, and then Origins revitalized it. But for me, Syndicate is my type of game. It's the type of game that I would have preferred Assassin's Creed to stick to. Love the main characters. World was fairly big as well, so I would say for $9, it's a good pickup. There is a gold edition. It's not on sale right now, but the base game for $9 is fine. Next up, we have Ghostrunner, 70% off for $8.99. Also available on Plus Extra. Was a Plus Essential game not too long ago, so you might already have it in your library. Ghostrunner 2 is coming out, so I wanted to give this a mention. This game is really, really enjoyable from an aesthetic standpoint. Soundtrack is great. Now, the game is infuriating at times. Now, it might just be a case of get good, kid, but, you know, I feel like I got good, and by the end, I was still getting whooped. What Ghostrunner really does well, though, is while you are gonna fail in your runs, it gets you right back into the thick of things and right back into the action fairly quickly, so it becomes a very addictive experience. And I think if you want to make a challenging game, look at Ghostrunner and model the way it gets players right back into the thick of the action. I know not every game can do something like that, and that's probably some crafty game design as well. But Ghostrunner, I thought, did an exceptional job of that. Ghostrunner 2 looks great. Excited for that. Not excited about the early access gimmick being done for that game as well, but what can you do these days? Not much at all. Next up, we got Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, $7.99 on this. I mean, it's Resident Evil 7. Really, for a lot of people, this is the game that brought Resident Evil back to the forefront. I know, you know, other people will say the RE2 remake, but Resident Evil 7, coming off of the release of RE6, like, RE7 did a lot of good to revitalize the franchise and the IP as a whole, and now you see Resident Evil these days, it's just a gargantuan IP, but RE7 is great. There is a gold edition, of course. It is not on sale right now, so that's a little bit of a bummer, but the base game for $8 is great. The VR component to this game is really solid, but it's VR 1, so it's like, yeah, you're probably not going to jump into that at this stage of the game, but yeah, I thought it was great from that standpoint as well. $7.99 on that. Next up, couple Tales of titles. Tales of Vesperia, Tales of Berseria, you know, Tales of in the news cycle these days as well, with Tales of Arise getting that expansion, but Vesperia and Berseria are both really solid games. Vesperia, I think if you want something that's a little bit more lighthearted, saying it's totally lighthearted would be a stretch, but you do have this incredibly charming and likable cast of characters, and I believe that in, like, the Japanese fan popularity polls, they literally had to pull Yuri from the polls, the main character of Vesperia, because he was just so popular that, like, Yuri would just crush those polls. So they were like, all right, you're just banned from, you know, being eligible. He's a great main character and such a nice change of pace from your typical JRPG zero to hero type main character. That's what you get a lot of the times, but Yuri is so different than that, and just such a likable character. The rest of the cast is strong as well, and yeah, it's a good game, a lot of content. The gameplay for Vesperia certainly shows its age, being 15 years old at this stage of the game, but I still think it's a good buy at $9.99. Berseria is great as well. Again, a darker tone for this one. Like, stuff goes down pretty early on in Berseria, so, you know, the story is incredibly compelling. It's just, you know, a different tone than Vesperia, so to speak. But $9.99 for that is great as well. Velvet's a very, very strong main character as well. Tales of has produced some great main characters. Velvet, Yuri, and Luke are probably the best ones that I could recall. Okami HD, 50% off for $9.99. It's Okami. Like, whenever this is on sale, guys, I gotta give it a recommendation so you can hopefully fuel the chances of Okami 2 or a legit sequel to Okami one day happening. Brother, if Dragon's Dogma can get a sequel, someday we can get an Okami sequel. Capcom is listening, and I feel like the Okami sequel one day will happen, but $9.99 is a great price for this. Certainly would recommend it. Definitely worth a check out. Next up, Star Ocean First Departure R, 60% off for $8.39. Now, Star Ocean's second story R is going to be coming out in just a couple of weeks, about a month and a half or so. I would say go check out First Departure R. It's on Plus Premium, but It's a good JRPG, certainly shows its age, given that it's an upgraded release of a PSP game that was a port of a PS1 game, so, you know, like, it is what it is, but quality title, quality throwback JRPG for $8.39, I think it's a good price. Catherine Full Body Edition, 75% off for $9.99. This game is quirky as all hell. It's not going to be for everybody, but I thought it was a rather good game. The puzzle mechanics I wasn't crazy about, but some people really enjoyed that as well, and if you want to get into it for just a story, you can play it on an easier. I wouldn't recommend that though, playing it on an easier difficulty, that is, but Full Body also adds a new route to go through, so that's pretty cool. And you got a lot of bonuses with this edition. $9.99 I think is a good price. Certainly would give that a recommendation. Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy, $9.89 on this. Great set of visual novels. Excellent games here. Obviously, Phoenix Wright is getting another trilogy that's releasing in early 2024. Would certainly recommend. Looking forward to that, but for now, $9.89 on this is quite good. Visual novel, so keep your expectations in line on what to expect from the gameplay, but a solid game altogether. Mega Man 11, $9.89 on this. Look, I'm a big Mega Man fan. I'm trying to get a new Mega Man game. I'm trying to will a new Mega Man game into existence, but who knows if that's ever gonna happen. We might just get collection. But Mega Man 11 was a solid game that, you know, harkened back to the roots of Mega Man, but at the same time brought it to speed for a 2018, I think it was 2018 audience, and thought it was really enjoyable. I'm more of a Mega Man X guy, but what can you do? $9.89 on that is pretty good. Bayonetta, 70% off for $7.49. Kind of a bummer we'll never get Bayonetta 2 or 3. At least I don't think so on PlayStation and other platforms, but Bayonetta 1 is still a classic. Platinum Games, a lot of stuff going on there as well. Hopefully they continue to be one of the industry leaders, but Bayonetta is a great title. $7.49, good buy on that. And lastly, Evil Within 2, 80% off for $7.99. Done by Tango Gameworks, the same studio that brought you, obviously, the first game, Ghostwire Tokyo. Evil Within 2, I think, is a really, really great game and a significant improvement upon the first game, which is kind of a hot take. Like, some people definitely did like the first game better, but I thought Evil Within 2 turned out great, so $7.99 for that, a really solid pickup there. But that is going to do it for me. Again, links to all of these deals, as always, in the description box below. But yeah, a lot of great stuff. Sales will be ending here shortly, so jump on it as soon as possible. But that'll do it for me. Thank you for watching. Sound off with all of your thoughts down below, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.